Alright, hello everybody. My name is James, also known as James Lucian on Instagram, and today I have decided to make a video about how I edit my photos. I get a lot of questions about how I go about doing it, so today I figured I would show you guys what I do. Normally when I edit, it's very easy. I've just created a preset a while ago, this one right here called Street Style, and that basically takes this image on the left and turns it into this image on the right. So that's what I do, and then I always will just kind of edit from there, but today I'm going to show you exactly what I do on each image from the very beginning to get from here to here. So let's begin, shall we? So first we're going to do that, and then I'm going to reset, so we're in the basic image straight out of the camera. So the very first thing I do when I edit is I will come down here to lens correction. I'll click remove chromatic aberration. And then next I will enable profile corrections. That's usually automatically selected. And then next I'll go down to transform, and I just hit auto. It worked really well on this one, but sometimes you just got to move things around and transform. So everything looks good and nice and even, but it worked out really well for this one. Anyway, let's go back up to the beginning and let's begin. So first, exposure. It looks a little dark, so I'm going to bring up the exposure just a bit. We can come back and change it later. I'm also going to bring down the contrast just a bit, not too much. Yeah, that's fine. And then also next, I want the clouds to be popping, so I'm going to bring the highlights down. And I'm going to bring the shadows up. So the foreground here is a little brighter, looks a little nicer. Let's bring it up a little more. There we go. All right, and whites, I'm going to bring the whites down. Yeah, oh yeah. Let's bring them down. Blacks, I don't think you need to change. Oh, just a little bit. Just a little bit. That's too much even. Just a little. There we go. Very good. Alright, next, in clarity, I always like to bump it up to about 50, so it doesn't look too crazy, but I still love the little gritty feel that it gives to the image. Looks good. Dehaze, don't really need it on this one. Vibrance, let's bring it down just a little. Saturation, I like to desaturate the image. Ooh, that's a bit too much. There we go. Alright, next, the big beast, the tone curve. There's a lot I could say about this. We could probably spend a whole hour working on the tone curve. I think I'm gonna make just a quick little edit on the tone curve, and then I'm gonna come back to it because there's so much more I could say about it, but let's save it to the end. So basically, I always just keep a little slight S curve. Let's bring this up, and we're gonna add just a little curve. There we go. Not much at all, just very slight, but let's look at before and after. Let's bring this down. There we go. Yeah, so before, after. All right, looks good. But like I said, we're gonna come back to this because there's so much more I can say about this, and the whole tone curve with the other sections with the red, green, and blue. It could really change your image. So there's a lot we can do with that. But let's come to it at the end. Down to the HSL sliders, hue, saturation, and luminance. I like to change these around a bit because for this image, I really want a warmer feel. So more reds, orange. Like down here, there's more natural. There's natural colors of like earthy tones, ochre, brownish, yellowish, a little bit of green. So yeah, so let's get a warmer feel in there. So what I'm gonna try to accomplish with these sliders is to get a little more red and orange and a little less of blue and purple. Although there's not a lot of purple and blue in here anyway, but we're just gonna emphasize the red, orange, and yellowish colors. So first, let's bump up the red a bit. I'm going to bring the orange down so it's more closer to the the darker tones, as opposed to this yellowish green color up there. Actually, let's bring it down a little bit more. That looks good. Now the yellows, just slightly. That's fine. The green, there's only really the greens up here. And these trees up there, and there's a little more around in the bottom. So I'm going to bring the greens all the way up. So these greens pop a little more. If we bring them down, then I don't know. I didn't like it. They don't look as nice. So let's bring them up. There we go. See? Green looks good. Aqua, I don't think, maybe there's a little bit of aqua up in the sky. But let's just bring it down. I'm going to try to get these blues out of here. Purple and magenta, I don't think there's any magenta. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see a difference. That looks fine. Let's go down to saturation though. Like I said before, I like to desaturate my images. I think Soul has a very a natural desaturated look to it. So I try really hard to show that in my images, the desaturated nature of the city, which I love. I think a lot of people think the Soul isn't so beautiful. I think it is gorgeous. It's beautiful. Anyway, before I get off topic, the saturation, let's bring it down just a little bit for the red, a little bit for the orange. Whoa. Yeah, that looks fine. A little bit for the yellow. Not too much with these colors that I want. Let's see, with the green. Actually, I'm going to bring the green up a bit to show. No, never mind. Let's bring the green down. I look at these trees. And actually, no, let's take it the other way. That looks nicer. Huh. Alright, anyway, the aqua, bring it down. I'm looking up here in the sky. There's just a little bit of aqua, a little bit of blue. Try to get the blue out of there. I want just a slight hint of it. What you can do, this little circle, I love this tool. You can click it, and then you can find the color that you want, and then hold, and then you can go up and down, and it changes. So that helps get exactly what I want. There we go. Just a hint of blue. Click done, but not too much. And purple and magenta, like I said, there isn't much in here. So luminance, let's bring up the red a bit. I like to bring all of these up a bit. Every color, especially green. Green is a tough color, especially in this one, because it's more, it's a cooler color in a warmer image. So how can I make the green work? It's tough. But if we bring it all the way up, there we go. It works. Let's just bring it all the way up. Why not? Luminance. We really don't need to touch these. Kind of takes. There we go. Purple and magenta. We don't need it. All right. Anyway, now down to split toning. I'm not going to do any split toning on this image. I typically will do the split toning in my night images. So maybe I can make another video showing you how I edit my night images, so you guys can see what I do there, because it's a little different process from this beautiful daytime image. So anyway, down to details, sharpening, just bring it up to 80. Instagram takes away some of the sharp details, so I try to counterbalance that by adding a bit of sharpness here. Noise reduction, this was shot at ISO 100, so there's not a lot of noise. Yeah, even on Namsan that looks pretty clear, but we're gonna add just a little bit. I can give just a softer touch. That looks fine. I don't think it really makes that much of a difference, but you never know. Anyway, down to lens corrections. Like we already did that. We went over those. The effects, the vignetting, I like to add just a little. Just it adds something to it. A little more dynamic. Works well there. No grain. The last part, calibration. A lot of people I think don't touch calibration, but I love to because I think it helps give the image that final little push, that little oomph at the end. So yeah, let's do that. We're gonna bring this down a bit to the greener side, just a little bit. Like I said before, I want more of a warmer red tone to the image, so I'm gonna bring these hues up a bit. I'm going to bring the saturation up to where, well, it looks good. How about there? That's fine. All right, now for green, again, just a little bit of green. I don't know. Oh yeah, let's add a bit of green. I think there's a bit more green to this image than I originally realized, especially in the grass. So yeah, we'll bring that up. Blues, I don't think this will really affect the blues of this image, but we're gonna bring it down anyway. So let's see, calibration, this was before, that was after. Just, it's a little different, but I think it worked nicely there. All right, so like I said before, we need to go back to the tone curve, because this is where I spend most of my time, and it is the biggest headache for sure, because just little differences can make a huge change to the overall image. And it's very difficult to figure out how each of these colors work with one another. So first we have red, and then we have green, and then we have blue, and how they work with one another can affect the image very much. So right now, look, it's very red, of course. But if we go down, now it looks too green, too blue, because we just took away some red. We took away some red from the shadows. We added red to the highlights up here. Highlights, shadows. So yeah, we just have to move it around. I want a little more red in the shadows. Sorry, a little more red in the highlights. And we take away the red from the shadows. But first, so yeah, that looks awful, of course, before, yeah, but don't worry. We go to the green, add a little bit of green to the highlights. We'll take a little bit away there, somewhere around there, I don't know. And then bump this up just a little bit. All right, so I know it looks awful right now, but once we get to the blue, then everything starts to come together. Well, let's bring this down. There we go. Kind of see, I'm going through this really quickly, so it might not look as good as normally, what I would normally try to do with the image. So yeah, I'm not going to mess with that too much, otherwise I could be here for a full hour, and I know you guys don't want that. So it's looking a little dark. Let's up the exposure a bit. And that looks about where we had it before. Actually, let's go see, shall we? So, ooh, that's a lot of editing over here. Let's see. The last time I exported the image, let's see. Boom. Okay, so it looks a little bit different. The real difference, like I said, comes in the tone curve. So it's very different every time. It's just the slightest little change you can make a huge world of difference. Like we said there. I don't know. All right, so let me know what you guys think about this. I hope this was very helpful for some of you guys, just to see what I do. This final image, there's still a lot that I could work with it on, but this I think was a good way to just show you guys a little bit of what I do, what I think about when I edit an image. So yeah, let me know. Like I said at the beginning of the video, this is my first YouTube video, so I apologize if it's awful, if it sucks, but be sure to subscribe, because hopefully I'll be making more videos soon. Like it and comment if you have any questions or anything. But yeah, anyway, I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.